Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. It is May 31st, 2026, 10:37 p.m. And as I'm looking into the camera, I'm noticing that the beard is coming in nicely. So hopefully your boy is looking more wise, you know. But on a real note, wisdom comes from the Lord and the Lord alone. So even if this beard is down to my feet, will mean nothing. Although I mean, that would be cool, but it would also be really unruly. So, probably not going to do that. Anyway, we are on Leviticus chapter 15 called Discharges Causing Uncleanliness. For a lot of young men, this is probably a good chapter to keep in mind. One I read uh, a long time ago now when I was, reading about sexual immorality and how to abstain from it and what God said. And thank God that He's come in and He's completely changed my life. And now I can flee from sexual immorality by His strength, not my own. But this was a chapter I read back then. So let's get into it. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when any man has an unusual bodily discharge, such a discharge is unclean. Whether it continues flowing from his body or is blocked, it will make him unclean. This is how his discharge will bring about uncleanliness. Any bed the man with the discharge lies on will be unclean, and anything he sits on will be unclean. Anyone who touches his bed must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. Whoever sits on anything that the man has with a discharge sat on must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. Whoever touches the man who has a discharge must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. If the man with the discharge spits on anyone who is clean, they must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. Everything the man sits on when riding will be unclean, and whoever touches any of the things that were under him will be unclean till evening. Whoever picks up those things must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. Anyone the man with a discharge touches must, without rinsing, oh, anyone the man with a discharge touches without rinsing his hands with water must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. A clay pot that the man touches must be broken, and any wooden article is to be rinsed with water. When a man is cleansed from his discharge, he is to count off 7 days for his ceremonial cleansing. He must wash his clothes and bathe himself with fresh water, and he will be clean. On the 8th day he must take 2 doves and two young pigeons and come before the Lord to the entrance to the tent of meeting and give them to the priest. The priest is to sacrifice them, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. In this way he will make atonement before the Lord for the man because of his discharge. When a man has an emission of semen, he must bathe with his whole body with water, and he will be unclean till evening. Any clothing or leather that has semen on it must be washed with water, and it will be unclean till evening. When a man has sexual relations with a woman, and there is an emission of semen, both of them must bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. When a woman has a regular flow of blood, the impurity of her monthly period will last 7 days, and anyone who touches her will remain unclean till evening. Anything she lies on during her period will be unclean, and anything she sits on will be unclean. Anyone who touches her bed will be unclean. They must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. Anyone who touches anything she sits on will be unclean. They must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. Whether it is the bed or anything she was sitting on, when anyone touches it, they will be unclean till evening. If a man has sexual relations with her and her monthly flow touches him, he will be unclean for 7 days. Any bed he lies on will be unclean. When a woman has a discharge of blood for many days at a time, other than her monthly period, or has a discharge that continues beyond her period, she will be unclean as long as she has the discharge, just as in the days of her period. Any bed she lies on while her discharge continues will be unclean. as is her bed during her monthly period. And anything she sits on will be unclean, as during her period. Anyone who touches them will be unclean. They must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and you will be unclean till evening. When she is cleansed from her discharge, she must count off 7 days, and after that she will be ceremonially clean. On the 8th night she must take 2 doves or 2 young pigeons, and bring them to the priest at the entrance to the tent of meeting. The priest is to sacrifice one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. And this day he will make atonement for her before the Lord for the uncleanliness of her discharge. You must keep the Israelites separate from things and make them unclean, so that they will not die in their uncleanliness for defiling my dwelling place, which is among them. These are the regulations for a man with a discharge, for anyone made unclean by an emission of semen, for a woman in her monthly period, for a man or a woman with a discharge, and for a man who has sexual relations with a woman who is ceremonially unclean. Okay, and that's Leviticus chapter 15. Not too much to say. That was just kind of is what it is with that. So yeah, it looks like next up we have the Day of Atonement for Leviticus chapter 16. And 17 is eating blood forbidden. That's a good chapter. Looking forward to that one and getting confirmation on something which I've always thought was true. All right, so today was a good day. Went to church. After got some Pete's coffee with my family. Wonderful coffee place. I had a cold brew oat latte with a warmed up blueberry muffin. It was delectable. Went to a basketball game, played in it. It was good. The team was better than us, but we put up a good fight, only lost by 9. And I actually didn't have a good game. I feel like I'm one of the better players on our team, but the only shot I made was like a logo 3-pointer, which was cool. But we play them next week, so hopefully we'll be back in action and we can score some more points. But thank God everything else is great. If it's daytime, have a blessed day. If it's evening or night, have a blessed evening/night. Thank you. God bless you so much. I love you. Bye.